Hello, guys. Another day for question and answers regarding the Canadian Immigration Spousal Sponsorship Program. Um, Today, I'll be answering some few questions. Please, if this is the first time you're coming across my video, I would like you to share or like. And if you have any comment, please, you can comment or place your comment in the comment section. The question that I'm going to answer like the first question is that this is how it goes. My fiance and I are getting married in New Zealand in February. He is an Australian and I am Canadian. We are planning to apply for spousal sponsorship after our marriage in New Zealand. My question is, we are going back to Australia to celebrate our wedding with his family and will stay in Australia until we can come to Canada. Will that affect our application at all if we originally apply from New Zealand and then continue the application while in Australia? That's the question. So this particular question is for a couple that are getting married in New Zealand. So they are not, one of them is Canadian, one of them is Australian. So they are getting married in New Zealand. And after that marriage, they will like to apply, so submit their application for sponsorship in while they are in New Zealand. Then they want to move after submitting the application in New Zealand. They want to move back to Australia and then continue with the application until when it is approved. Then they'll be able to travel to Canada. So that is the concern, the whole issue of the question. So now the question here is if because they will get married to New Zealand and they will apply in New Zealand and then finally move to Australia before maybe when the application is approved, then travel to Canada. Is it going to be in any way the application will be affected? That is the question. So at this point, the answer to this question is no. Nothing is going to affect the application if their address is updated with the Immigration, Refugee and Citizenship Canada. If their application is updated, nothing is going to affect the application. At all time, it doesn't even matter whether it's this same application, but at all time, anybody who submit an application, as long or at any moment when you change your location, you change territory, you change country, you change anywhere you are, the only thing you could do for you to continue with your application and that nothing is going to affect your application is just to update the immigration of your current address. That is all. So nothing is going to affect the application as long as you update your address with the immigration. All right. Okay. So the second question here is that this is how it goes. A question about applying for spousal sponsorship inland. So inland in Canada of my spouse is to know if we have only one chance to apply, such that if we receive a rejection or refusal for our application, whether we can resubmit again or if applying outland will be an option that we will be able to resubmit again if it is rejected. So that is the question. So the concern is that whether they can reapply or they have only one chance. That is a concern. And then if they could apply outland, the option is that whether they still have opportunity to reapply if the application is rejected. So now the answer to this question is that when you submit an application and the application is reviewed and assessed by the immigration officer, what will happen is that if they deem the application complete, then they will move to the next step. But when they deem the application incomplete, the application will be returned to you. So and in another way, the application could be rejected, maybe for misrepresentation or maybe for other form of criminality, security concern. It just depends. So when it concerns criminality, security concern, or misrepresentation, it's kind of very, very complicated. You should consult a lawyer at that time to assist you, maybe to deal with certain things. But if they just return the document, it is returned to you. If the application is returned to you and it is deemed incomplete, you can reapply. You review everything, make sure that everything was there or is there, and make sure that if there was any mistake, you correct it. Then you can resubmit your application. So the same goes to Outland application. So when you submit Outland means those who, let's say a partner is in Canada, another person is, maybe the spouse is out of Canada somewhere else. So that application could be made or submitted, could be submitted Outland. So when an application is submitted Outland, at that time, even if it is rejected for a certain reason, they will communicate to you. They will have to let you know that it was rejected for misrepresentation, for security concern, for criminality, anything like that. But if it was returned to you, they will explain sometimes the reason why the application was returned to you. Maybe lack of sufficient information, or let's say a document is required that is not in the application. All those things. So you have to still review and make sure everything is there, and then resubmit. The only thing is that when an application is rejected, you have to pay fee again. Why? You are resubmitting the application. But when an application is returned to you, it means that they have deemed it incomplete, and you will have to cross-check, review every requirement, and then make sure everything is complete, all the requirements are there. Then you can still use the same receipt to submit your application. So that is it. There is one thing that you should know. The thing is that when you apply for spousal sponsorship, when it is rejected, you cannot appeal. Why it is when it is rejected? Let's say you apply inland, and then it is rejected. You cannot appeal that application. You may only reapply again, but you cannot appeal that particular decision of the immigration. You may only reapply if it was rejected, maybe because of lack of document. They didn't return it, but they reject it because of a document wasn't there, or maybe they requested that you should bring, you should submit some let's say additional document that sometimes they require, or it is required, and then it is not submitted. Then your application is rejected. At that point, what will happen is that you don't have a choice, but you can reapply. So all in all, it's a new application that you will be submitted. So that is it. You'll be submitting new application. So, but if the application was submitted Outland and then it is rejected, if you want to appeal, you can appeal the decision. If you don't want to appeal, but you just want to reapply without appealing, no problem. You can still do that. You can still go ahead and reapply. So that is the answer of your question. Thank you. Please share this video. Let it go viral. There are many out there who are looking for answer to these questions that I have addressed, and this is going to help them that much. Like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.